I'm very fortunate to have some time, some further time here, and I will take some questions, but I want to make some further comments. We are the most drugged out nation on earth. Our use of antidepressants and anti-anxiety drugs as barely 8% of the global population exceeds all of the other use of antidepressants and I look like Bernie Sanders doing this. And all the others and the anxiety drugs and all the political people who've been doing this to us for so long. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I like him. He's from Vermont. What's not to like? Vermont's got cows and it's got Bernie. Where the hell was I? Where was I even going with that? What's that? Oh, antidepressants. Thank you. Good God. And mind-sharpening agents, too, to help you remember shit. Wow. That's so bad. But thank you all. So the thing is that we are completely and hopelessly drugged out. And we mistakenly take drugs for things we have no business taking drugs for. You have a relative who dies. Of course you're sad. Of course you're heartbroken. Of course you're grieving. Be sad, be heartbroken, grieve, and when that's done, go live your life. But don't become a drug addict on top of it. That's insane. People here are not only, well, look, we're all looking for different things. There's no person on earth who has it all figured out. There's no person on earth who has it all perfect. And the likelihood of having everything all perfect is pretty slim. But we've learned a lot over time. We know we are natural beings. What's the difference? I'll tell you two differences between natural plant-based remedies and drugs. We did not co-evolve with Prozac. No, we didn't. But we did co-evolve with absolutely every compound in every herb. They are part of our biochemistry. You know, plants make antioxidant compounds to defend their own cells from premature destruction due to exposure to heat, light, air, moisture, and time. When we take antioxidant compounds into our bodies, our cells enjoy greater protection from oxidation, basically from the rusting of the cells. Many plants are vascular, and they move nutrients through a network of veins. Well, that's what happens in us now, isn't it? Moving nutrients through a network of veins. Plants are part of our biology, and we exist on this earth because plants very fortunately generate something we like a lot, and that's called oxygen. And by the way, the burning down and the destruction of the great rainforests on earth, which is going on faster than it has ever gone before, means utter catastrophic disruption of the environment, reduced oxygen production, greater amounts of carbon in the atmosphere. It's not good. And there are people out there who would insist, oh, it's really not as bad, or somehow somebody's going to take care of it. If we don't all do our part in every way we can, whether it's writing our congresspeople or engaging in, community sustainable agricultural projects that are organic or whatever we can do, we will lose the whole kit. That's real. That's true. That's what's happening. And if we succumb to the pharmaceutical propaganda, then we'll all be just increasingly sicker over time, and that's completely unacceptable. This is our time. This is a time when the science is with us. This is a time when the traditional knowledge has been very well documented in many cases. This is a time when communication is easier than it has ever been. I can reach out to my friends in Siberia and know that I'm going to get a message back in 10 hours or so. Yeah, come stay at our apartment in Novosibirsk. That's kind of amazing. We can get to places more quickly than we ever have been able to before. We can bridge worlds. So I believe that we have a kind of a couple, the second thing I want to say about pharmaceuticals and herbs, and I want to describe it to you this way. I want you to imagine a pyramid like this, and on top of it, a pyramid like this. And in the center is pain, okay? We want to deal with pain. If you take ibuprofen, naproxen, acetaminophen, you know, 1 or 2 times on rare occasion, they're not going to kill you. You take them on a regular basis, you're going to have a host of negative effects. Maybe liver damage, maybe kidney damage, other disorders, a cascade of negative effects. But you will relieve the pain. If you take curcumin, for example, you will not only relieve the pain and do so in a broader way, because it's not just a COX-2 inhibitor, it also works with NF-kappa B, 5-LOX, and all the other inflammatory markers and enzymes in the body, but you'll also get other things that happen that you didn't necessarily ask for, like enhanced neuroprotection, your body actually producing more compounds that protect your nervous system, enhanced cognitive benefits. We know from human studies that curcumin actually enhances mental function, and on and on. An up cascade of benefits that we never even asked for. That's the difference between most pharmaceuticals and most botanicals. There are botanicals that are toxic, and only an idiot makes poison ivy tea. That's really not okay. I'm very fortunate, or unfortunate, I've managed to find and become a little bit too intimate with most of the poison ivy-like plants in the world, I'm sorry to say. Had an awful experience in Ghana many years ago. I was hiking in the forest with a guide, and there was this little teeny little vine, almost like thread, and it kind of caught on my shirt with these little prickles, and I sort of moved it aside, and we kept on going, and the next day I had this bandolier of angry red welts going across, and that lasted for about 3 weeks, and that was like the worst poison ivy ever. I had another experience in India where I sent my laundry out. This is in the 80s, and it came back, and it was clean, and it was nice, and all that bit, and I put it on, and I developed this, I was convinced that I had some really sick, evil, like life-threatening crud, because right here and on the back of my neck, I had these patches of this nasty, angry red welts, and I went to a dermatologist in New Delhi, and I said, what the heck's going on? Am I like dying of something? And he looked at me and said, you allergic to poison ivy? I said, yeah, but there's no PI here. I know it on site from 100 yards. He goes, have you had your laundry done? I said, well, yeah. He said, let me look at the tag in your T-shirt. There was a little black X. He said, see, what happens is the laundry wallas, they need to mark your laundry so they know it's yours, right? So they do a little mark, an X or a Y or something on the tags of your clothing, but they can't afford pens. So they use Inknut instead. Inknut contains urushiol. Urushiol is what's in poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac, etc. So you get all these Americans and Russians who were going to India at that time, getting their laundry done because they want to be clean, upstanding, responsible citizens, and wind up getting these hideous, hideous cases of poison ivy. So I am not suggesting that all plants are utterly safe. Foxglove makes digitalis. It is very, very useful for the heart. Can help people to stay alive, but if you were to take a fistful of foxglove and make a tea out of it, you would die. You'd just plain die. That's not all right. Death is an unacceptable adverse effect, no matter what causes it. And I hate those commercials for drugs. Because they go, so now they're doing it at the beginning at you remember 33, 45, and 78 with records? Yes, okay. So they take a 33 statement and they put it on 78, right? May cause heart disease, seizures, disorders, spasms. You may erupt. You may say strange, awful, terrible things. You may stab yourself. It may cause suicide. And they go through this whole thing. Then, so many people are turning to the little green pill. Don't be misled. Don't be misled.